Hey everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. This is really turning into a lazy weekend. It was a little bit clouded, overcast yesterday, and I just kind of settled into the couch early yesterday evening, and it's looking a little bit gray today. We might have some rain, and I'm just going to probably kind of take it easy and kind of think about the week ahead, do a little bit of planning for the week ahead, and that's about it. Gotta relax a little on those weekends. Today I want to talk about some useful raw food diet advice, and I got 2 tips for you. I do videos every day, so please subscribe to the channel now, and please hit the little bell and check send notifications. Talked with another couple of YouTubers last night, and they're having that same problem. YouTube's got that bug going around again where people are getting unsubscribing. You can just tell by your subs. You kind of get to know how many they're coming in. Just to let you know, on a lot of different, on your other channels as well. Like I say, I'm constantly going in and checking on stuff that I make sure I'm getting the content that I want to see. But anyhow, just wanted to start the week off with a little bit more practical advice. Before I was doing this video, I was thinking, I'm always joking about how people want to program and this and that. I think they feel good if they pay for stuff. I could probably, and it'd take me a little while because what have I got? I got about 1,500 videos. I could probably go through my videos and I could probably make a playlist of about 20 of them. And after that, I would have nothing left, and you would have no real excuses for why you couldn't do it. I got videos, and they're all little, I like to think, practical hacks, things to kind of fill in the hole. Not the big stuff, like where do you get your protein? That's answered 14 million times. But I try to come up with little practical things that are like maybe real life solutions that you can think of, like specific situations, filling in the blanks. Instead of just general knowledge like, okay, the raw food diet is this and you should eat like this and whatever. Yeah, I think if I had those 20 videos, if I could send that playlist to somebody, and if you watched all of those and you came back saying, well, this and I've got this and that, I'd be like, well, I don't know. I don't know what I can help you with. That deals with every aspect from transition to how to, deal with and satisfy cravings. I've got some that are like recipe videos that show you how to substitute and make some hearty stuff to help you get away from the cooked food or get away from the heavier food you're eating. So my 2 tips for today. My 1 tip, and I think I'm going to try to go to that place that could cover a lot of people's trouble spots. Now for me, and like I say, I just kind of take for granted because from the beginning, even when I was in those, steps of where my body was not used to this lifestyle, I just always kind of assumed that raw till dinner is almost like you don't even think about that. But some people do, I guess, struggle throughout the day. So once again, and this isn't actually one of the tips, this is just going to be a little bonus one that I'm thinking in there. If you have a trouble with, and you don't want to eat cooked food during the day, and you need cooked food during the day, just eat enough food. That solves most things right there in everything we ever talked about, any difficulties. If you're eating enough food, if you're keeping yourself satisfied. You don't need to be hungry on this diet. Being hungry for too long on this diet leads to the mind wandering around, thinking about possible choices, and the chances are you will, we don't do this lifestyle on willpower. I have people tell me a lot of times like, man, I wish I had your willpower. I wish I had your discipline. It's nothing to do with willpower and discipline. But yeah, I assume, that it should be easy. Like, most people could fast track it and get till raw till dinner, pretty easy. One of the times that people have problems with during the day, and even if they stay raw, or they'll sometimes snack on, well, no, usually they'll venture off into other things. It's those snack times. Snacks get people. And I don't even really like the word snack. I've kind of come to think of that word. I don't mean I dislike it. It just doesn't really apply because what is a snack? I don't think of snacks. I feed myself. I eat 4 or 5 times a day, and I don't think any of them as a meal per se, but I don't think of any of those feedings as any more important or less important, like there's 3 main feedings and a snack. Like, I just eat. So once again, if you would think more like that, just when you're eating, eat enough food to keep yourself satisfied for however long it is you want to go before you get to the next thing. If you need that though, what are those snack times? What are those snack times for a lot of people? And it's different, so you'll have to figure out what your trigger times are. But I'm going to talk about the two most popular. For working people, it's usually mid-morning, mid-afternoon, because working people go to work 8 or 9 o'clock. They'll usually have a lunch about 12 or 1 middle of the day, and then they go to 4 or 5. So it's usually they eat their breakfast, lunch is going to come at 12, they're somewhere in between there, that if they haven't eaten enough in that morning meal or planned ahead, that they'll start to think about that vending machine down the hall. So if you need to do that, if that's one of your trouble times, if you can't eat enough in the morning to make it to your next meal, take a snack with you and make sure it's a substantial enough snack. A lot of times I'll hear people snacks, and a banana is not really a snack. A banana is kind of like a Band-Aid. Eating one banana if you're really hungry, it'll kind of like get you, it's like a spare tire. It's like you're not supposed to go on that for very long. You put your spare on the car and you're only supposed to go 15, 20, 30 miles until you can get to somewhere to repair it. A banana is not a snack. Banana might get you to, okay, where I can hold off for a little bit and get to my snack, but have your snacks. Have something planned for those in between times of the day that you tend to fall into snacking, because I always hear people, yeah, the snacking gets me. That's not a problem. It just means that you're not preparing for snack time. Just keep good stuff around the house, and the minute you have a craving, the minute you're hungry during snack time, go for something good and fill yourself up with something good. My second tip is dinner. Okay, and my assumption that it should be easy. If most people aren't already at raw till dinner, just use a few tips and you should easily be able to get till raw till dinner. Now dinner, a lot of people can do raw till dinner. You know, a lot of people call it raw till 4, but I'm just always kind of like, that's odd, because, you know, I'm not going to necessarily eat at 4, so if I'm going to go raw, I'm probably going to go raw another hour or hour and a half till my normal dinner time. But a lot of people, and this I understand, especially in the early stages, and that's why I say it's fairly easy to do raw till dinner. Psychologically, people can do raw till dinner pretty easily, because they know it's almost like that how the brain likes a reward. And at the end of the day, for people that are still new to this lifestyle, that cooked food is the reward. So you do your raw thing during the day, and you get your reward, and you eat cooked at night. Okay. The second tip is kind of broken into 2 parts. Number 1, make that night meal as clean as possible. At least try to, get away from using oil, get away from using salt, keep it whole plant foods. And maybe, like I've mentioned in other videos before, incorporate some raw food with that cooked food. But the real tip is going to be, number 2 is going to be, is to have, that's why I'm always talking about recipes. The nighttime is the time where the recipes are important. Like, if you just want to make a good start, let's say you have a problem, let's just jump ahead. Let's say that you can do the raw till dinner fairly easily, but you have a problem with doing fully raw. And I see a lot of people, and honestly, I never really say this, but they're like, yep, I've been struggling, now I'm going to go fully raw. Well, don't necessarily go fully raw. Get those recipes, get 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 recipes, however many you need, and just play with it, go forward. Have raw food 3 nights a week, then maybe have raw food 5 nights a week, then have raw food 7 nights a week. But you're slowly withdrawing that, you still have that reward mechanism going on, because even if you're only eating cooked food, say 3 times a week, or wait a minute, if you're only eating cooked food 4 times a week and you're doing it raw 3, well then most of the week you're going to have that cooked meal at night, and then you go in a stage, and then you go to where you're having raw 5 nights a week, but you still have that reward mechanism in there. You still know that there's 2 times of the week I'm going to be able to eat that meal, I'm going to be able to eat that cooked. So work on the snack times and work on dinner time, and that will help a lot right there. I mean, all you need, like, to do 3 nights a week. Let's say you were going to be fully raw 3 days a week, and the rest of the days, 7 days a week, you were raw till dinner. That's huge. That's huge. And you can work on that. If you need to go from 3 to 4, if you need to start with 2, or if you need to start with just 1 day per week where you go fully raw, do it. But it's going to come down to those recipes. And like I always say, not just any recipe, not just a recipe because you like the person, but something you really like. I can't think right off the top of my head, but there's probably some recipes that I have that I actually use a lot more, that I like a lot more, that are my favorites that I've never done a video on because it's kind of an odd taste. I figure, well, not a lot of people are going to like this, but I like it, and that's what's important. Same thing for you. You might have something that you come up with that's the best thing you could ever eat. You don't care. You don't care if you go to a gourmet raw vegan. This dish satisfies you, and that's what it's about. As long as we're satisfied, it doesn't matter cooked, raw, whatever. Satisfaction is satisfaction. So fill in those snack times. Learn some good solid raw food recipes you like for dinner, and just work with it. Move slowly. Wherever you start, whether you start with 3 days fully raw, 5, 7, 1, you can get there. But it's all these little tips. Like I say, if I was to go back through my videos, there's no one video that is the big how to do this. It's just all these little tips. Well, here's a tip for this. Here's a tip for cravings. Here's a tip for this. Here's a tip for that. Bing, bang, boom. And you put those little hacks, those little tips together, and you fix problems. You solve problems. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.